This week on Sailing Lady Africa, we put in our basin cabinetry access hatch, receive our window frames, epoxy in our outstanding cabinetry frames, remove our through holes, and talk a bit about our gas water heater.
So what we're doing today is we're going to complete the bathroom, the head. So we've got these waterproof, watertight, I wouldn't say waterproof, they're watertight hatches that we want to install in our vanity cabinet. So we did the cutout, just marked it up, cut it out. You didn't have to, I wasn't very accurate with it, other than obviously the size is perfect. So I'm going to install it and mark it up and drill the holes for the screws. There we go, fits in nicely.
Ricky marked up where the holes would need to be drilled on the cabinet.
For the people that don't know, you've got three different types of drill bits. So there's a few different, but the most common ones. So that's a masonry bit, that's a wood bit, and that's a steel bit. So for this fiberglass on that, you want to use your steel bit because it's going to last the longest. Those bits, the wood bits, are very sharp and they cut very well, but on something that's like fiberglass on that, they'll dull quite easily. So we take our steel bit. We're going to cut. Usually want to go a little bit oversized, but we don't have that oversized, so it's fine. We'll just go with this. Switch it over from 1 to 2 for speed, high speed. So we close it up and you lock them tight, and now we're going to tighten it. And what this is going to do, the only reason I'm putting this hatch on, so that when we fit it, that there's no deforming of this if it has to move or whatever case may be with the epoxy and that, the door will still be in place and will be fine. I'm just using standard 316 nuts. Not lock nuts or nylon nuts, whatever they want to call it, with a washer. And the reason is there's not much movement in this stuff and it's easy if I want to take it off and put it back on. But the areas like chain plates and that, definitely nylock nuts in there. It'll make life much better and they hold a lot stronger and all that. And if you haven't got a nylock and you're in case of emergency, tighten the first one onto place. Get the second one and tighten the second one onto the first one, and those two together kind of in a certain degree they're pushing upwards, so it acts as a nylock nut. Got one of these on, and I like making life easy, so good tools. And you just go in here, hold the back side of it. Just be careful not to over tighten. So once you feel a bit of pressure, start.
Ricky the night before drew up some drawings of our window frames to get CNC routed, and we picked them up the next day.
So that's what the windows look like before we put the frames on, and these are the ones that I got CNC cut. They arrived yesterday. So we sanded them down so long yesterday and we routed this one just as a sample. And all I used was just some double-sided tape just to hold it on in place while I have a look. So I just put like, I think there's 6 little tabs just to have a look at what it looks like and if I'm happy with it or not. And then today we'll epoxy it on. And because I don't have this open, so I can't clamp them, what I'm going to do is put a few more double-sided tape sections, put epoxy on the rest and put it in. That epoxy is so strong that I won't have to worry about any of the other stuff. And yeah, this week is pretty much prepping to get paint on. So we're sanding and more sanding, and when we're done with that sanding we'll do some more sanding. That's the amount of frames that we got yesterday. So we've got all of those to finish up. So yeah, a lot of frames. But it's the finishes that count, so we're not going to cut back on finishes. So the bearing on our router in there, that bearing's stuffed. So I'm just stealing a bearing from another router bit that has the same OD and fitting it onto the one that we need. So this is the frame that you guys saw me drawing, and we've routed the edges already. All that it needs now is the final sand for the sides, and it's done. So just roughly, but that's what it's gonna look like. So before and after.
We then had to match up each frame to the corresponding cabinet. My grandpa and aunt came to visit us to make sure we weren't sleeping on the job.
So Auntie Debbie, what do you think of our boat?
I think it's amazing. It's coming on so well. It really is.
And Grandpa, what do you think?
What do you want me to say?
They look good.
I mean, I haven't seen it for, what, a month? Maybe even more. And you were still busy then, sort of designing things and cutting out and shaping it. I mean, this was in, you've done just the frame. It's covered in nicely now. It looks good.
Got carpentry.
You haven't been sleeping on the job.
No.
We then epoxied in our cabinetry frames.
Ricky and I are going to go get our frames.
More frames. Number 50 something.
Number 50,000.
We decided to fill it around the frame so that it would have an effect like it came out of the mold.
So I'm just busy cleaning up these through holes, and that's the outlet for the toilet, and that's the supply, and they're quite close, and I was wondering, but it is like that. I'm not going to change it now unless I pick up a problem, then I'll run a new line from one of those other ones that are back there. But I want an inspection because these valves are on, and this is definitely not marine ones, so I'm thinking of changing them either to the THRU design ones or to new brass ones. So yeah, that's basically what I'm doing, is taking these off. The back ones are quality marine ones, but I'm going to take them off, and I already had one of these through hole fittings fail, but I'll show you that what it looks like. So getting rid of those, probably going to get rid of these and fit new ones in. Not worth doing all this effort and then got a leaking through hole, so that's where we're at. So we've taken off all our through hole fittings, and the reason behind it, well, that I actually originally decided to, is because I saw this valve and this didn't look like a marine valve, and with a little bit of investigation I realized that this is a residential valve, and the guy had it as a sea valve. And you know, surprisingly it worked quite well for so long, while the boat's still here. And so once I took the valves off, I thought, well, let me rather do it now, take off the through holes. And so some of them were stainless steel, like this one here. When I initially took off the nut, it looked like that. It looked pretty good, and then I decided to take it off and check the pitting down there. There's not much left before it goes right through. So what would happen is, if this had to snap off right here, this would just literally pop off into the boat, and then you've got a big hole through the boat. So we'll be replacing, so that's corrosion into stainless steel. This is 316 stainless. So you can even see the pitting on the outside of it. This is after I've cleaned it up a bit, it was all gunked up. Another one with the brasses. So there on that tip you can see it's brass, and then there you can see it's pretty much just copper. So, or bronze, and then there's copper. And then pretty much that becomes the weak point right there, right by the neck. So I've cut this one in half so I could show you guys how the material gets actually, through electrolysis, gets taken out. So this was the one that there was an end on this side, and I just tapped it with a hammer and it came off. So you can see on the inside there's brass on the outside, and there's that, through electrolysis, there's pretty much just soft copper, porous copper that was left behind. You can see how it looked. I actually cut this after it broke off. This was all broken off, it looked like that, just to show you that it had completely gone in. So that when it's like that, it's porous copper and there's not much strength to it. I just pretty much hit this one off and then cut it in half to show you what it looks like. And then I just sawed a couple of the other through hole fittings to show you the effects that it has. And this one, not so bad. I take it that this one's probably not as old as the other ones. I mean, this one's actually pretty good nick, considering.
We are always doing sanding and fairing in between jobs.
So this is the unit that we got, and it's a 5 litre. It's the smallest unit I could find on the market, and it's also a zero pressure unit, which is exactly what I wanted. So that on most of these gas geysers, when you turn we call them geysers, water heaters. On most of these units, when you turn the water just a little bit, it won't kick in. So until it has an adequate pressure build up, then it will open the valve and allow the gas to flow. On this unit, it has a flow meter on it, so once it detects any bit of flow, it starts up. There's pros and cons to it, but in our case, even if we open the water a little bit, or say half open the water in the shower, there's going to be warm water and it will be instantly warm. This one's a bit more basic than the other ones that you get. You know, the other one you got a temperature regulator and that. Whereas this one, you just regulate one and it does everything for you. It doesn't need an exhaust, although it is recommended that you have a little bit of ventilation going on in here. Secondary to that, it also has automatic shut off, you know, all the standard gas stuff that come with these things, so automatic shut off. But in addition to that, it has a CO2 meter. So once it detects high levels of CO2 or I don't know exactly what they classify as highest levels of CO2, but once it detects higher levels of CO2, it automatically shuts off. There's a thermal cutoff also to avoid scalding, and this can be operated indoor. Most of them will say only outdoor use. So that's the reason why I went for this unit, and it's small, compact. And now what I'm going to do from here is build a box down. So the mixing unit for the water tap will be over here for the shower, obviously on the other side. So all my piping will come into here, feed through there, and the mixer will be there, so it'll be all within here. So if I open this cabinet, I'll have access to all my plumbing for the shower, and I might even add the pump and everything in this compartment. Make it all nice, waterproof, sealed up with a hole through to the bilges. If there is a leak, it can leak into there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is our new baby. Took a while to get it, 2 weeks on order, but we finally got it now.
Stay tuned till next week when we finish up our head and get painting. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe below if you haven't already, and give us a big thumbs up. If you would like to support our production and join our awesome Patreon family, a link is in the description below.